So it'll be short, sweet, good. All right. Let me check. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're on alls. We're on alls. Here we go. All right. Thank you so much for joining Spazzing Out, America's podcast, which is being recorded late on a Thursday night. I should be watching football right now, but I'm not. I'm here with you because I promised I'd be here 5 times a week, so I'm here. As you can tell, my voice is a little raspy. Long day today. Worked my ass off today. Got home really late. Got on the Peloton. I worked. Got home late. Got on the Peloton for 10 minutes. Took a shower. Came down here. Trust me, my wife is not happy. She wants to spend time with me. She loves me. I need to get the hell back upstairs and spend some time with her. To that end, we do the podcast 5 times a week. And next week, we're going to try something different. Next week, we're going to try something crazy. I'm going to do the podcast in the morning. Now, I know that that's going to affect the people that watch on the live stream. They watch on Facebook, they watch on YouTube, and they watch on Twitter. Right now, I'm on all of those. So if you're watching on one of them, retweet, like, follow, share, let everybody know we're here. But most of you guys are listening on an app. Most of you guys listen to a podcast, 500 or 600 downloads a day. You're listening in your car. You're listening on Alexa, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. Most of you listen there. I am going to try to do the podcast 5 times next week at like 6 in the morning. My voice is killing me. So that my wife and my daughter and my son can spend some time with dad, because all dad does is work. That's all I do. I work. I like to work. I love it. I live for working. I live for working, and I live for Peloton. I'm getting a new Peloton, by the way. Peloton has a new version of the bike. It's getting dropped off tomorrow. I can't wait to get it. But my literally, I don't know what's up with my throat. I need hold on. Maybe take a little drink, dude. I'm dying. We got to hurry this shit up. We got to watch the game. What, Nariam?
This helps?
Nah, I don't want any spray, man. Get out of here. My son's trying to kill me by giving me spray. All right, let's get right into it. Let's kill it. We're going to talk about Trump, viral debate. We're going to talk about crazy Nancy Pelosi and her stupid commission on presidential capacity. And we're going to talk about dumbass deadline getting a story ready, which they should, but they published a story about our vice president, and they're apologizing about it because they shouldn't have done it. But before we get to that, we need to do remote asses. What is remote asses? It's remote class, but I've changed the name to remote asses. Anytime something stupid or difficult or ridiculous or just news in general that relates to remote class, I have a segment called Remote Asses. And in today's Remote Asses, I'm dealing with a particular argument with my son, Nariam, my 12-year-old son, my 12-year-old who clearly knows everything, my 12-year-old that believes he's a 52-year-old man and shouldn't listen to anybody's rules and wants to do whatever the hell he wants. He probably doesn't even have fucking hair on his balls, but whatever.
You want to make that bet?
All right, Nariam, be quiet. Nobody wants to know if you've hit puberty yet or not. Here's the deal. My son has a homework assignment, and we were talking about it, and I asked him, tell me about your homework assignment, and he said, it's weird. It's messed up. It's a question about temperature, and there are 3 questions or 4 questions. Doesn't really matter what the questions are. There's only one question on it that I agree with them that's kind of fucked up. Temperature in general. Nariam, what are the questions again? Hold on, everybody. We'll ask the king himself.
Okay.
All right, what are the questions?
Question 1. What biotic creatures, biotic means living, need temperature?
All right, so first question is, what biotic creatures need temperature? I don't know what the fuck biotic is. I don't want to know what biotic is. Okay, but whatever. I have to learn it again for some reason because biotic is going to come up while I'm loading trash on the back of a truck. but apparently biotic means a creature that was either living or now dead. Biotic. Okay, what biotic creatures need temperature? We know the answer to that question. All of them need temperature. Living animals need temperature. Dead animals need temperature. Why? Here, real quick. Dead animals need temperature because their bodies fucking decay in certain temperatures, and they don't decay if they're frozen. There's temperature. But people need temperature when they're alive, because if it's 120 degrees, you'll die. If it's below zero, you'll die. And the optimal temperature is room temperature. All right, great. Next one.
Okay, second question. Why do they need it?
I just fucking said why they needed it.
Yeah.
Third question.
Third question. Find 2 ecosystems that have little to none. And when I say little, I don't mean like...
Name 2 ecosystems that have no temperature. 2 ecosystems. Please name 2 ecosystems that have no temperature. This is where I have a problem. And I don't know, do I reach out to the teacher and say, wait a second.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Let's get to the fourth one, and then we'll go back. What was the fourth one?
Find 3 creatures that live in these places.
All right, so what places?
These places that apparently exist that have no temperature at all.
All right, good. Bye. We'll handle it from here. Narium, everybody. That's my son. Now, Hawk says Maz. Go. Listen, beat it. Here's my beef. Do I reach out to the teacher and do I say, hey, wait a second? You're telling me there are 2. Listen, I'm just a lonely podcast host. I'm a bum-ass guy that loads trash on the back of a truck. And when my son Narium, who just popped on, says, hey, Dad, I have a question that I have to answer, but I don't know how to bring it up to the teacher or offend the teacher. And the question is, name the 2 ecosystems that don't have any temperature? And I looked at my son and I go, what? No temperature? Like as in it's 0 degrees? Because 0 degrees is a temperature. -1 is a temperature. 100 degrees is a temperature. There's no place anywhere. Interception, Bucks. Brady. Oh, wait, Bucks picked it. There's nowhere where there isn't a temperature. Nowhere. There's nowhere. So how do I call the teacher? How do I reach out to the teacher and say, hey, Mr. Teacher, I know you're teaching my son, and I know you think that there are 2 places on Earth that what, Narium?
I'm going to say this because I feel like some people might say this. Space does not count. Yes, it technically has a temperature. It's probably -100.
All right, bro, come on. Beat it. I got this. Listen, everything has a temperature. Every place has a temperature. Space has a temperature. Moon has a temperature. Mars has a temperature. Sun has a temperature. Your butthole has a fucking temperature. Everywhere there is temperature. So how do I explain to this teacher, or do I reach out to the teacher and kindly say, Mr. Scientist, you seem like a really good guy. You seem very smart. Help me out. Help me, the garbage man, out. How do I explain to my son when you say to him there are 2 ecosystems that don't have a temperature, but I want to be like, please show me where there is a place, anywhere, anything. Everything has a temperature. Everything. Please tell me I'm not right. Someone tell me I'm wrong. And I'll move on from it. Bro, I'll jump off a bridge for you. My glasses have a temperature. My head has a temperature. This water bottle has a temperature. This piece of paper has a temperature. Everything. 0 is a temperature. So I don't know how to answer. This is the problem. I don't know how to answer my son. I don't know how to explain to my son and say, hey, I think the teacher's wrong, but if the teacher told you there are 2 places, did he say what the 2 places were? If he did, great. Just say that and just agree and move on so you can get an A. But in general, I'd like to call the guy up and say, hey, where are these? Maybe Narium's wrong about the question. I haven't seen it. Maybe I got to see the question.
You want me to pop out my computer right
No, I don't.
now?
I want to finish my podcast so I can watch Tom Brady play. Look, this is what we're dealing with. This is why it's remote asses. We're dealing with difficulties at school because Kids are asking parents questions they don't know the answers to. If someone come up to me and said, hey, name a place where there's no temperature, I'd say that place doesn't exist. There is. No, bro. What, Bangarang? Is it the Lost Boys? Peter Pan, maybe? No. There's no place that does. Every place has a temperature. So I don't know what to do in that instant. And I don't want to know. I don't care. I'm 42 years old. I graduated high school and college. I graduated from college in 2001, bro. I'm out. And I've never used anything. My throat's all messed up. A lot of dust today from junk removal. I've never used anything I learned in college or in high school other than math. And I didn't really learn how to read until I was out of college because I'm dyslexic and I taught myself how to read. I memorized words. So there you have it. There is apparently a place on the earth that there is no temperature, except I find that hard to believe because everything has a temperature. Even no temperature has a temperature. As you can tell, my head is going to explode. So the temperature in this room is getting high because I would like to do get the podcast done so I can watch football, but I still had to do the fucking podcast. But please, for extra credit, if you could put in the comments or email me, I don't. You can just DM me on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at Spaz'n WAAF, right? And let me know what the two places are that have no temperature. Little extra credit. All right, moving on fast. Trump this morning, it was made known by the Commission on Presidential Debates that they're going to do a viral debate. Before the president even said anything, I tweeted out, no way. No way Trump will go for it. Absolutely not. He's not going to be in on it. And of course, as we know, he won't be in on it. But I don't think Joe Biden should be in on it either. I think Joe should be against it. And I'm going to tell you why Joe should be against it. Two reasons. So everybody likes to say, oh, I'm always Trump, 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 Trump. On this one, I agree with Trump. There shouldn't be a viral debate. But I'm going to pitch it to Joe and try to explain if I was Joe Biden's campaign manager, I would say to him, no, we don't want a viral or a virtual debate. We don't want a virtual debate. We want a debate in person. Why? Because we want to get Trump to do the same thing he did last time. We want the American people, right? If you're a Biden person, we want him to do the same thing. We want him to cut you off. We don't want to give the moderator and the camera people the ability to turn Trump off and to cut him off. He'll use it against us. If Trump were to do it, he will use it against Biden. He will go on and say it was unfair, and people will believe it. Anytime Trump gets cut off and he gets muted, people will believe it was an unfair debate. You either debate in person or you don't debate at all. Period. It is to Joe Biden's advantage to debate in person because Trump will cut him off. Trump will do the same shit he did last time. Therefore, Joe won't have to talk. If you do a viral virtual debate, Joe will talk, which is what we want. We want Joe to talk because when Joe talks, he forgets what he's talking about because he's fucking old and senile. When Joe talks, he makes missteps. So if you're on the Trump side, you're like, you know what? Let's do the virtual debate. Let's do it. They'll cut Trump off. Now, this is if I'm Trump's campaign manager, I grow a sack, I grow balls, and I say, hey, I think we should do the virtual debate because I want them to mute you. And please mute him so that Joe can talk. That's to your advantage. Your advantage is to let Joe Biden talk so that he can't just say, here's my plan. He has to get in deep and explain his plan. He has to go in depth without you cutting him off, explain to the American people what his plan is, how he's going to do it, how it's going to get executed, all this shit. And if he's on his game, then kudos to him. But he's not. He's not going to be on his game. He's not going to know how to explain it. It's going to be rough for him. It's going to suck for him. Now, on the other end, if you're Donald Trump, not his campaign manager, if you're the president, of course you would not do a virtual debate because you don't want to be cut off. Your game plan is to talk over Joe. Your game plan is to try to throw Joe off and yell, scream, and not let Joe talk, which is unfortunate. I've already said it. The best thing you can do is let Joe talk. But that won't happen. So now I don't think there'll be a debate. We probably won't have a debate on the 15th. They should do what the NFL does and move it a couple days out. But Trump doesn't want to do a debate. I tweeted out that he shouldn't do it anyways. I agree. If his game plan is to cut Joe off, he won't be able to cut Joe off. The moderator, without a doubt, will mute President Trump, and Trump won't get whatever points in, and they could cut him off. As a matter of fact, you won't even know if he got muted or cut off because the camera angle could just be on Joe, and you'll never know what the president was saying, period. I don't like it. The moderator's job should just be there shouldn't even be a moderator, honestly. Just let the guys talk about what they want to talk about. All right, we're moving fast and furious because I want to get to the Pats game. Next thing. Deadspin here. Is it Deadspin or Deadline? Deadline, the website Deadline or the media outlet Deadline, whatever you want to call it. They posted something about Mike Pence having coronavirus. So right off the bat, if you haven't heard the news, they posted it. It's he doesn't have coronavirus. He doesn't have COVID. What they do in the media, I know this because I worked in media for 16 years and now I'm back in it doing my own podcast. You make things, you put them in the can. So that you can be on top or first one to get something out. You have a story ready to go in case it happens. Now, there was a good chance that Mike Pence might get COVID. So the smart thing to do if you're a reporter would be to write a canned story in the event that he got COVID and you could get it out like this. As a matter of fact, obituaries, there are obituaries for just about every single prominent person so that when they die, they can be the first one to get it out. They're already written. They're already done. Someone has an obituary for President Trump. I guarantee it. Someone has it for Nancy Pelosi. Someone has it for Mike Pence. They write them. They put them in the can. They're drafts. They're just like a tweet that you want to send out. You put it up in your draft, but you don't send it until it's time to go. So I don't blame Deadline for having the story ready, but you know that one of their weaselly-ass, liberal, bitch-ass reporters pushed it out there, and they're acting like, oh, it was a mistake. Bullshit. It got pushed out there. I'm not saying that the company Deadline did it on purpose. I'm saying that one of their bums that works there was like, oh, watch this. I'm going to push this story out there so that people panic. And then people did panic because Mike Pence canceled an event that's going to happen tomorrow. So now everybody's like, oh, my God, the vice president got fucking COVID with the 25th Amendment for the vice president and the president. To explain it again, good news outlets, good media outlets have stories in the can. They have story drafts ready to go so that they anticipate that something might happen, so they get ahead of the story so that they could be the first one to get the story out. And I think it's good reporting and a good media outlet to be prepared to have heard the news or to get the news that Mike Pence might have had COVID. He doesn't, but there was a good chance that he was going to get it, and it's smart to be out on head of it, but it's asinine, shitty reporting, and the reporter or the person that pushed the story through and posted it should be fired. You could send the country into a fucking tailspin by claiming that the vice president has coronavirus. You could send the stock market crashing by claiming something like that. So you're an ass for pushing it, even if you did it because you're like, I don't like Trump. I don't like Pence. Look at he's got a fly on his head. Oh, flies only go to crap. Flies, I looked it up. Biblically, flies mean decay and evil. Fucking idiots. So there's that story. Last one, and then I'm out because I'm going to watch the game. Remember, next week, no podcast on Sunday. I'm doing it Monday morning. Monday morning, no podcast next week, Monday morning. Typically, the podcasts are 35, 45 minutes. Tonight, this one's going to be like 30 minutes tops because there's a game on. And you know what else? My wife made, it's mad good too. It's, chicken broccoli ziti. I got chicken broccoli ziti waiting for me up there. It's late. I can't wait to eat it. Did you have some already? No. But I got the zeets, chicken brox, zeets. I got to get up there. I got to eat it. Hawk's saying boo. Something must have happened. Or he probably doesn't like how I'm kind of talking on both sides about Biden. He's not a Biden fan whatsoever. All right, last story. Nancy Pelosi is gathering and making and going to try to pass a commission. She wants to create a commission on presidential. This is what it's called. The Commission, Alfredo. The Commission on Presidential Capacity. She wants to create this commission that would review whether or not the president, any president, but we know she's talking about Trump, whether the president is capable to do his duties. Now, per the 25th Amendment, Congress can create said commission. In the 25th Amendment, it says something to the effect of the vice president, when the vice president and the majority of the presidential cabinet executive people or other bodies as Congress may by law provide, can write this letter as well, which there isn't a commission yet. So under the 25th Amendment, she can create a stupid commission to deem the president capable or not capable. But there's one thing she's leaving out. She can create this commission. Sure, go ahead. It's the 25th. It's under the 25th Amendment. Congress can have this stupid, the House of Representatives. And by the way, we'll get to this next. Congress being, what makes up Congress? She's never going to get her fucking commission. But what makes up Congress? Please, if you say the House of Representatives, I'm going to jump through my iPad and rip your fucking head off. Congress is made up of the upper house, the Senate, the lower house, the House of Representatives. So Nancy could present the bill. It could get through the House of Representatives, but it still has to go through the Senate. Now, hear me out. I don't give a shit if it gets passed. I don't care. It probably should get passed. There probably should be a commission on presidential capacity for checks and balances so that we make sure the executive branch is always operating the way it's supposed to. Here's the problem that Nancy is leaving out because she made a big announcement today. Oh, tomorrow we're going to make a big announcement about the 25th Amendment. We've got shit brewing. Nancy, did you read the amendment? Because it clearly states that you need the vice president to write this letter to. You need the vice president to also sign this letter. So here's how the 25th Amendment works. When the vice president and the cabinet, the majority of the president's cabinet, or could be the majority of the cabinet or of this body, this commission on presidential capacity that she's putting together. So you don't need the cabinet and you need the cabinet or. So the cabinet, we're not going to need them anymore. We're going to use the commission, but you need the vice president. It's the vice president and your little commission. The vice president and when the vice president and your stupid fucking commission make a letter saying that the president is not capable of doing his duties, and you send it to the president pro temp of the Senate and to your stupid ass self, Nancy, because you're the Speaker of the House, then the vice president takes over. Only then. And then, of course, the president has his opportunity to write his own letter if he's still coherent. And if he does, and there's a challenge, well, then you need 2/3 of Congress, which is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives, to say that he is not competent. So Nancy and all you libs that don't fucking read and just read headlines understand that just because Nancy puts this commission together, just because she puts this little group of people together, one, doesn't mean it will pass. Doesn't now she can create a commission. She can just say, hey, we have a commission in the House of Representatives. Well, it's garbage. The commission is nothing because it has not been passed by Congress. Congress, again, made up of the Senate and of the House of Representatives. So without the vice president, whoever the vice president may be, you got shit. It is clear. The 25th Amendment is clear that the vice president and the body, the vice president, I'm going to say it 5,000 times. The vice president and, not the vice president or, it's the vice president and. So, Nancy, your little commission can get together and they can say that we think that the president isn't capable, because she already did. Nancy's already out there bitching and moaning, saying, oh my God, oh, the president's all fucked up on Regeneron. He's not fit. Well, Nancy, you can say what you want, but you're not going to get what you want, because Mike Pence would have to sign the letter too. And then after that, President Trump could just write his own letter saying, I'm fine. And then you would need 2/3 of Congress, 2/3 of all of Congress to say that he's not. And you'd never fucking get that. So stop this shit. I can't stand this. And this goes for both sides of the aisle. Republicans and Democrats. I can't stand it. Get to the people's fucking work and stop this crap about, oh, he's a Republican, I want to rip him out of office. Oh, he's a Democrat, I want to rip him out of the office. Get down to business of taking care of the American people. Small businesses are going, they're fucking gone. Half of them. Millions of people are out of work. Millions of people are fucking screwed. And you guys are playing politics. You guys are over there bitching like two little cunts at each other. And you can't get anything done for the American people. Nancy, on your stupid side, you're like, oh, I got a package for the people, but you don't, because you're trying to fucking pay yourself. And then you got the president on his side, who I like, as you know, but still on his side, he's playing tit for fuck or tit fuck or tit for tat, whatever the hell it is. Listen, I wish that I could run for office, because I'm fucking, if I did, all I would do is work for the American people. That was it. That's all I would do. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm putting a commission together. I wouldn't be doing shit except things that matter to the American people. I'd show up in Congress in my fucking work boots and my work clothes. And people be like, what are you doing here? I'd be like, I'm here to work for the American people, for the middle class people. I'm going to show up in some bitch ass suit. You ain't getting shit done in your suit. I'm going to come work boots, dirty jeans, fucking work shirt. I might even wear a hard hat, motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right, please.
Wait. You ready for this?
What?
Your slogan. All stripes, no cap. Boom.
All stripes, no caps? What?
You don't get it?
No, bro. All right, let me finish my podcast. My God, I love you. I love you. All right, so here.
Some people will get it.
All right, good. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk about, and I was talking about it when we were talking about the 25th Amendment, and it drives me nuts. And Chris Rock did it the other day. Is it a guy's name Chris Rock? Yeah, Chris Rock was the host. He hosted SNL last weekend. And he did something that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And I'm going to clear this shit up. And then I'm out. Please. This is what he said. He kept saying the Senate and Congress. He was making a joke about something, and he said it like 5 times. The Senate and Congress. You know, if the Senate and Congress could do something, I wanted to kill somebody. I can't stand when people do it. It really, really drives me nuts when people think that the Senate is separate from Congress. It drives me insane. Congress, please. It's made up of the upper house and the lower house. The upper house is the Senate. The lower house is the House of Representatives. I can't fucking stand when you people do that. I can't. I wanted to rip. I wanted to turn the channel when he was like, yeah, the Senate and Congress. Oh, bro. Fucking Senate is Congress. House of Representatives is Congress. Now I get it. It's lingo to call someone who was in the House of Representatives a congressman, and to call a senator just a senator. But in fact, they are a congressman. If you called a senator a congressman, that's what he is. He would be pissed because they feel like they're better than the House of Representatives. But plain and simple, it drives me nuts. Hawk said she lied. Are you talking about Kamala Harris? Because she lied out of her ass last night during the presidential debate. My favorite part, during the VP debate, my favorite part was when she said she's not against fracking. And then there's like a 5-minute long video of her talking about how she's going to ban fracking. Anyways, I got to be done. Just from now on this program, or when we conversate, when we have a conversation and we're talking about Congress, I want to hear Representative Pelosi, or you could call her Speaker of the House because that's what she is. But I don't want to hear Congresswoman. Well, you could, you know what? We'll take it back. You can call her Congresswoman. You could call her Congresswoman. You could call her Speaker of the House or Representative Pelosi. Now, when we're talking with the senator, you could call them senator. You could call them congressman because they are a fucking congressman. What I don't want to hear is the Senate and Congress. It'll drive me nuts, just nuts, because Congress, like when you're looking at the Constitution and they say Congress, and I don't think Nancy gets it, because in the 25th Amendment in the Constitution it says Congress can make a fucking group of dickheads that can decide if the president is competent or not with the vice president's signature. I think she thinks it's just the House of Representatives. It's not. It's not. Congress is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. I can't stand when people do that. It drives me bonkers. And that's all I got for tonight. Thank you so much for listening to America's Podcast. Next week, 6 a.m. We're doing the podcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 a.m. It's going to suck for me. I have to get up earlier than I normally do. I got to do the podcast, then go to fucking work. So that's going to blow. We're going to see how it works out. Maybe it'll work out great. Maybe it won't. Who knows? Thank you for listening to America's Podcast. Spazzing out, America's Podcast. All right, I'm going to watch the fucking game. Yeah, I'm going to watch the game. Later, Hawk.